Okay, so I think I'm going to do a carrot cake jam today. I pulled a lot of carrots out of the garden and I need to preserve a lot of them, and besides just freezing them and then leaving them in the fridge for fresh eating, I'm going to go ahead and make a jam today, and I'm going to show you how to make it. So let's go ahead and get started on doing that. So this is what you're going to need for your carrot cake jam. You're going to need walnuts, ginger, nutmeg, cinnamon, brown sugar, white sugar, golden raisins, that's optional, pineapple, vanilla, lemon juice, a pear, and 2 cups of shredded carrots. So let's go ahead and get started. So what I'm going to do before I get started putting everything in my pan to start cooking the jam, I'm just going to prep everything. I'm going to shred the carrots, get the walnuts chopped up, and just put all the sugars and the seasonings all together in a bowl. So all I have to do is dump it into the pan when I'm ready. Nothing like a fresh carrot out of the garden. I started pulling them today and yesterday due to we're starting to get heat in the 90s and some in the hundreds, and carrots don't like that kind of heat. They like 70s to 80s. So I went ahead and pulled my carrots, and now I'm trying to find ways of preserving everything. But I got a lot of carrots. So one of the preserving I'm going to do is the jam. This is my favorite jam. I like this jam. Now you can make this without raisins, and you can make this without the nuts if you want to. If you're going to do the nuts, make them very fine, small pieces. It's more palatable like that. You have big chunks in your jam. I'm not a fan of that. But if you are, then keep your nuts a little bit, your walnuts a little bit bigger in pieces. But for me, I like small little chunks in mine. And you don't have to use golden raisins. If you do choose raisins, you can do the black raisins if you want to. I'm only doing the golden because that's what I have right now. But these carrots I pulled from my garden are so sweet. They have such a sweet flavor to them. I got them just in time before they got too woody from the heat. Yeah, that's a sweet carrot. It's going to make a really good jam. Okay, I have 2 cups of carrots shredded, and I'm going to continue on with peeling and dicing my pear real small pieces, and then I'm going to do my walnuts the same way. I'm going to do a very fine chop on these, and then I'll get back with you when I have that ready to go. Now after you've peeled your pears, you want to dice them up into very tiny pieces. Is there anything about that size? Will do. You don't want big chunks in there. It's all going to get soft when you're cooking it anyway, but you want small pieces of pears. because the pears aren't the star of the show. The carrots are the star of the show. Now your walnuts are optional. You don't have to put these in. But I'm going to dice up enough to do 1/4 cup of walnuts. And we're going to do really small pieces. I don't want big pieces in there. Okay, I got these all chopped up, ready to go. And then we're going to head to the pan and start making our jam. But this is 1 pear or 1 cup of diced pears. This is 1/4 cup of finely chopped nuts. You don't want them very big. And you have 2 cups of shredded carrots so far. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put 15 ounces of shredded pineapple in there. You're going to put 1 cup of finely diced pears. And you're going to put your 2 cups of shredded carrots in there. You're going to add your 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. You're going to add your 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Half teaspoon of nutmeg. And 1/2 teaspoon of ginger. You're going to cook this on low. And don't forget to add the juice of the pineapple. Don't discard that. That goes in there as well. And we're just going to stir this up and then bring it to a low boil after about 20 minutes. We'll come right back to it. Okay, now that you got those blended in there, you're going to do low to medium low for about 20 minutes. All you're trying to do is you're trying to cook the carrots and the pears. And that's all you need to do is keep stirring this for 20 minutes. When it starts to come to a little boil, then we're going to start adding our sugars and our pectin in there. Okay, so what we're going to try to do is we're going to get this to a boil. And as you can see here, it's starting to boil right there in the corners, around the edges. So now you're going to cover this and you're going to start your timer for 20 minutes, but you're going to keep coming back and stirring this. So you're just going to cover it now and put your timer on for 20 minutes. Lower the heat to low, and then you're going to come in here like every couple minutes and you're going to stir this. Okay, we are 10 minutes in and we're starting to see the pears and the carrots soften. Just make sure you keep stirring after a couple of minutes. When your 20 minutes are up, you're going to add your pectin to this. So let's cover it back up and keep stirring it every 2 minutes for the remaining 10 minutes we have left on the clock. Okay, our 20 minutes are up. So what you're going to do now is you're going to put a packet of Sure-Gel in, and you're just going to stir up the Sure-Gel until it dissolves. So you're going to let it cook for about a minute once you add it. Stir that up in there. That should be good there. Okay, now that it's dissolved, you're going to add your 4 cups of white sugar and 2 cups of brown sugar into the mix. You're going to get that all stirred up. And then once you get the sugar to melt with your fruit, you're going to bring it to a boil. And you're going to let it boil for 1 minute. And then you're going to take it off the stove. So let's go ahead and get this dissolved into the fruit. And we'll be right back. Okay, we're going to dissolve the sugar into the fruit mixture. We're just going to keep stirring because you added sugar now, and sugar burns easily. So we're going to go ahead and keep stirring this until the granulated sugar particles are dissolved. And then we start getting a boil. Once we get a boil, we're going to let it boil for 1 minute before we take it off the stove. It's looking pretty good. I like that I have alternatives to the carrots. I don't like canning my carrots. I don't like when the carrots get squishy and soft. And that's inevitable with when you're canning your carrots. I found out with my own experience. And my husband won't eat the carrots if I can them, so I freeze all of my carrots. I like that you'll never find this carrot jam in the store. Now, I guess if you go to a specialty store, specialty jam, jelly store, they might have this there. But since making my own years ago, I don't even have the desire to go in the store and buy a carrot cake jam. I like how mine turned out. Okay, so now that's boiling. Now we're going to let that boil for 1 minute. And then after that 1 minute, you're going to take it off the stove. I've now taken it off the stove. And it doesn't look like I need to skim any foam off of mine, which is good. So now I'm going to add my 1/4 cup of raisins to the mix, my 1/4 cup of finely chopped walnuts, and then 1 teaspoon of vanilla. We're going to stir that up. And then we're going to ladle it into 1/2 pint jars, jelly jars. Okay, once you get it back up to a boil, you water bath it for 10 minutes. Good night, everyone.